Well, hello everybody, welcome back to another graphic arc video, and this time we will be testing out Intel Arc A750, and we will see in the top 5 newest games that are out right now, which is The Last of Us, Dead Island, and some other games. We will see if it's actually enough 8 gigs of VRAM to run newer games at 1440p, and if we are still able to actually achieve 60 fps. So here we have The Last of Us at ultra preset, which also includes ray tracing, and here is no upscaling right now available, so we can see we are getting about 24 fps, 20 fps, 18 fps. Oh my god, it's really dropping low. I'm not sure this is actually playable. As you can see at the top left corner up there, guys, we have almost 14 gigs of VRAM usage on graphic card, which I'm not sure even how that is possible, since we are actually having only 8 gigabytes of VRAM at A750. So yeah. Let me quickly turn here on FSR to balanced and see if it works any better now that we dropped the resolution. As you can see up there, VRAM usage is constantly warning us. We should not be running this kind of high quality settings. So yeah, I mean, as we can see with FSR balanced here in this scene, we are getting about 60 FPS. I mean 60, it really depends, but yeah, right now we are averaging about 55-60 FPS, and that's on ultra preset with ray tracing, guys. But do note, this is an indoor scene, so later on, once we get outside, it's not that good actually, and it drops way below 20. So yeah, I'm not sure if this is actually playable, but let's see and how the game actually performs. I mean, 40 FPS, it's not that bad. It's actually playable. I would even lock it to 30 and be fine with it. But right in this time of age, I think most people would be satisfied if the game actually gets 60 FPS, not 30. But like I said, for me, even 30 is fine when you're playing single player games like this. So yeah. This game really needs FSR to be turned on, especially on Intel Arc, because otherwise you will just get a really bad frame rate. Even if you put everything too low and get that VRAM usage to about 8 gigabytes, it wouldn't really help. You will see what I mean later. When we go to the city, we run away, there is lots of people running around and zombies. There will be chaos. But let me quickly here change to high preset, if that will change anything. From 13 gigs of VRAM we actually dropped now to about 12 gigs, and yeah, the FPS is a little bit better now. We are actually holding about 60 FPS. When this zombie came in here, it's dropped to 50, and oh, look at this guy's massive drop to almost 30 FPS. Yeah, I don't have time to actually do research right now, since we have a lot to cover in this video. But if anyone knows the optimized settings for Last of Us on Intel Arc, please write down in the comments below, and I will test them out, and maybe make a video on all 3 graphic cards, because I have now again A750 in my hands, guys, and we will compare and see what will happen. Oh, by the way, I'm not testing this on my test bench. Here we are using Intel i5 13500, normal one, and we overclocked RAM from 3600 megahertz to 3833, I think it is, and optimize some timings. And as you can see, the gameplay, I mean, everything worked really smooth on this PC setup, except the temperatures. I have this snowman cooler, which is about 15 euros, so to say, and it's yeah. I see CPU temp spike up to 70-80 degrees at some kind of load. So yeah, here we are now, guys. We switched. We crashed, not switched. We crashed. Yeah, we switched to 1080p, and as you can see, we are getting about same FPS as we were getting at 1440p. And do know this is high quality preset with FSR on, so yeah, I'm not sure that The Last of Us is really playable on this card at 1440p. Maximum settings, I mean, we do get with FSR balanced a bit better frame rate, but there are lots of drops to 30, 40, which is actually, in my case, if you are not going to log to the 30 FPS, not really playable, because you will get the stutters, because it suddenly drops from 60 to 40, and yeah, this is actually a FPS drop stutter, or how to say. But yeah, I mean, we are holding about 50 FPS at 1080p ultra settings, I mean high settings, and averaging about 11 gigs of VRAM usage for some reason, even though we have 8 gigabytes. Not sure what's going on here, guys, but yeah. It's running about 50 FPS in this scene. Let me quickly go here to the graphics settings and see what I can change. I mean, we can actually try Ultra preset. Let's try Ultra preset and see how this works. Oh, look at this FPS drop, guys. Look at this FPS drop. We are getting... wait, it actually stabilized a bit, but yeah. The stutters are there, 30 FPS, above 30 FPS, which is okay. But yeah, oh, do check at the top left corner. I have my Intel Arc A750 overclocked. A bit much voltage is there, but it was a really quick overclock. It crashed in 2 other games, so I had to lower it later to less, but not that much, so it would drop the performance. I will also be actually recording the video for you, because a few people asked me to compare the stock and overclocked performance in some games, at least on A770, and we will see if it's actually worth spending 60 watts more for electricity, or just run it or stock, or even undervolt actually. We saw before undervolt is really good on Intel Arc, because we lose about 10% performance but it really depends on the game, but in the process we lose about 70 watts of usage, which is something to consider. When I was visiting Netherlands, everybody was asking me what you do to save the energy, and then I said to them, you know, you undervolt, and lots of people don't know how to actually undervolt, and there the law is, I think in Netherlands they are eco-friendly, you know, they like to save energy at every place possible, and it's, at least that's what my impression was. But yeah, something to consider if energy saving is what you need. So look at this guy's stutters. I am not sure how this can stutter so bad. Do you have the same experience when playing Last of Us on your PC? I had a lot of stutters, so I might just go back to PlayStation. Anyways, later on area, like I promised, let me quickly change here to 1440p, so you see what kind of FPS we get, because indoor we had about 30 FPS there, but with FSR about 60, but right now we don't have FSR on, as we previously turned it off, and as you can see, I think you should have a good playable 30 FPS experience with A750 at 1440p ultra preset, so just log that, and yeah, that would be my way of playing this on Intel Arc A750, or probably as well at A770. I haven't had time to actually test this game on A770, but I saw that the performance is way above 60 FPS when running 1440p, so yeah. We are moving on, guys, to a new game. It's Returnal, and I think this game will have no problem running 60 FPS at max settings. So let me just quickly go here to settings and see what we have. Okay, 1440p, XeSS is currently off, everything is on Epic. We can try maybe ray trace shadows and see what kind of performance you get, but I don't recommend ray trace shadows if you are not willing to use an upscaler method like XeSS or FSR. In this game, XeSS is good, but you actually need to replace 1.0 with 1.1 because it improves visual quality. In this video, I haven't done that. I'm still using the 1.0, which later on I will test, I think. And yeah, we are getting about 45 FPS there with ray trace shadows, but let me turn this off. Let me check here the other settings. Okay, anti-aliasing on, depth of field, everything is epic. And volumetric light, I really recommend you to leave it at low. I mean low or medium. No? Medium is fine, but low will give you a better FPS boost. Okay, XeSS quality setting 1440p with ray tracing. Huh? No? Oh, we are getting about 55, 45, 50 FPS, which, yeah, I mean, it's something, but I would really recommend you to turn this off, like I said before, as it's a much better experience without having ray tracing on. And the visual quality of the game still looks really good. Oh, I haven't actually played Returnal for some time now. Look at me suck here. I will probably die because he will one-shot me now. Give him 1 second. Oh my god, he really did one-shot me there, yeah. Okay, I mean, a Returnal main game, if you will be running these settings, expect about 50 FPS with shadows, ray traced. But yeah, the shadows are, I think, most impactful in this game. I mean, my personal opinion, I mean, ray traced reflections are also good, but I don't like to watch at the puddles, and because this game is also really fast, and it wouldn't even have sense to actually get ray traced reflections here. But yeah, let's go to Tower of Sisyphus and see if we can actually run above 60 FPS in this section of the game. The main area, as you saw before, it was about 50-40 FPS, but the main point after the end game is this Tower of Sisyphus, which you need to run like crazy and get the top score. But yeah, let's see if this, at least this section will perform above 60 FPS with the following settings that we currently have. So right now we are at about 80, which is really good in this case. It's true that there are smaller areas in this tower, so the performance is expected to be actually bigger. So it's good to see that actually that's the case. Not sure what I was shooting here because the monster was behind me. But, okay, whatever. We quickly go here and proceed to the next phase. And yeah, I think you can expect a smooth 60 plus FPS with the following settings in this Tower of Sisyphus. But for a normal main story game, I really advise you to just turn off the ray tracing effects and use everything on epic, and of course disable the ray traced reflections and shadows, like I said before, and make sure to replace XeSS with 1.0 to 1.1 because I doubt we will get a game update that will make this work. So yeah, we get really good FPS, so let me quickly turn it off here. But once we turn off XeSS, you can see we suddenly get below 60 FPS experience, which yeah, it's not that great, but it's playable. You can shoot normally, you can dodge, and without issues play the game. But like I said before, lower some of your graphical settings because the smoothness of gameplay is much more important than the graphics that you see. Nobody will play Returnal and stand at the middle of the battleground here and go like, wow, look at these lights, they look so amazing, nice graphics, while being shot with all the monsters, mobs around. I don't know, I think so. So yeah, without upscaling, you can expect about 50 FPS here in this Tower of Sisyphus. Lots of effects going on, but the Intel Arc A750 is holding up pretty okay. I mean, for the price that you can get it right now, yeah, lots of people are saying that 8GB of VRAM won't be enough in the next couple of years for 1440p gaming or above. And you see lots of this new Unreal Engine 5 game, I'm not sure what it's called, There were lots of particle effects in that game, and it's coming out soon, so we will be testing that one as well once it releases. But I have a feeling that it will run okay at 1440p A750. While I do think that this Intel Arc A750 is actually a 1080p card, not a 1440p, because for 1440p I would really recommend you to go and grab yourself Intel Arc A770, because those 8GB of VRAM will surely help you out in the future. You can see here, guys, we are actually getting about 11 gigs of VRAM usage, and the game is actually holding 60 FPS, which is surprising enough. It's actually really surprising. I was expecting much worse performance at the games that use way more than 8 gigs of VRAM at specific settings at 1440p. But yeah, I mean, it's holding up pretty alright. If you would have XeSS and 1440p without ray tracing, then that would be awesome. So let's see what about 1080p if you are already talking about it. Look at these guys. No XeSS, 1080p gameplay at A750. You can easily expect a smooth 60 plus FPS experience, at least in Tower of Sisyphus. And I'm also sure that if you would play the main story, it will also be the same thing there. Working just fine, above 60 FPS. 1080p, you really don't need upscaling, you don't want to make your game blurry as hell, so yeah, no upscaling at 1080p, guys, please. I rather see you buy a better graphic card and use 2K resolution and then downscale to 1080p if that's what your monitor is, because that's the best way you can actually do. Or just play native. Don't use XeSS, we are not running Steam Deck. Anyways, let me see what will happen if you put ray trace reflections to Epic, and what the hell. You can even use ray tracing without XeSS in this part of the game and still maintain above 60 FPS experience. Oh, that is good, that is good. You can see the frame time graph there, it's really smooth. Let me just shoot around here and run around and see if we actually drop below 60, but yeah, okay, just as I said it, we had a 57 FPS there, but yeah, I mean, with some fighting going around and dashing around with ray tracing on it, almost max setting, we are getting 60 FPS average at 1080p, which I think is a perfectly playable experience, guys. For me, this was really smooth. I could probably run this till like phase 5, I think. My record was phase 5 or phase 4, but I was not in the high score, top 80 I think I was. I really need to run this tower more, but there are so many other games to play right now, so yeah. This is it for Returnal. Let's move on to the next game, guys. The Island 2. I already finished this game. We are here at the Venice Beach, or how to say, yes, in California. And we are running this game at 1440p ultra preset without FSR. And actually, look at this performance. Look at this performance. We are getting above 60 FPS without FSR. Now that I look and got a bit of a flashback right now on A770 in Dead Island 2, it's actually the same FPS, maybe 2-3% worse than what A770 did in this game. I finished the game with A770, and yeah, because I had really bad experience on Nvidia GPU that I have here, and on my other PC, my girlfriend's house, I got constant crashes, but Intel Arc, man, saved the day. It actually never crashed. It works really smooth, as you can see, frame time graph there. No panic, no panic. It's working just fine, guys. What can you expect from this very good graphic card? Especially with the latest 4.311 driver, the performance boost with Intel Arc graphic cards was insane. Oh, and as you can see, Dead Island is kind of really optimized, right? Look at the VRAM usage we are getting up there. It's about 9 gigs, but the game is still performing above 60 FPS here, shooting around, running around. Oh, these stutters that are happening right now, guys. You know what it is. When we booted up this game, you clearly saw there Unreal Engine 4. And yeah, that's why we have the stutters in game, so not good. Anyways, let's move to Bel Air. Yeah, let's go to the Emma's mansion and see how it performs in Bel Air, where there's lots of greenery, lots of house, lots of monsters, lots of zombies, lots of fighting to do. And yeah, we hold above 60 FPS at 1440p Ultra with A770, but can A750 do it as well, guys? No, of course it can. Look at this. I mean, I'm looking this right now, and I think it's a more smoother experience on A750 than on A770. But maybe it's just my brain tricking me here. I think both experiences were amazing. It ran 1440p really good, and Dead Island too. So yeah, if you are checking at the top left RTSS Riva Tuner overlay, you can see that we actually never dropped below 60 FPS. So if you have A750 and want to play Dead Island and don't mind the broken stuttering of the engine that Unreal is, then grab yourself this game, put everything to ultra, use 1440p monitor and enjoy a really good experience. It took me about 10 hours maybe to finish the main story, or a bit more, and I still have some side quests to do to finish, about 20% left. There's lots of missing persons here in this game, which takes some time, and there's this one quest where you need to find these guys and the charger and other people, I mean zombies, to get some sort of item, and they usually also never spawn. So it was about this artist woman. She wanted livers and hearts of zombies to make a picture. Man, I was camping there in Beverly Hills, I think it was, for this one item for mutators, and I killed like 5 mutators and not even a single one dropped me dead. Then I was like, whoa, what the hell is going on? I'm not doing this anymore. And yeah, I gave up. Then I came back after like 3 quests up there, and there were 4 mutators for some reason, and all dropped me those hearts. So that was amazing. Let me just quickly do here a revenge on this guy. Oh, he's quite strong. I think it's for a quest, but he really killed me before. I forgot to use medikits, but here you go, my friend. Butcher. I'm butcher you. Oh, and the explosions and everything is going on. What's happening? But yeah, before I said that this game can maintain above 60 FPS all the time, maybe I lied a bit, because you saw right there what happened. When there are big explosions like this and fire going all around and electricity and like 7 zombies on the screen, you can actually expect the FPS to drop below 60, but that's just for a moment. It could also be that at that moment it's stuttered because of the, Unreal Engine, but I can't really say for sure. The game ran smooth except the stuttering, of course, and it's actually playable. I mean, 2023, I hope it's not a new standard now to get Unreal Engine games that stutter. It's insane. I mean, come on. Was it Dead Space? I think it was. Dead Space was stuttering. This one is stuttering. High on Life is stuttering. I mean, all Unreal Engine games that I've played have stuttered for me. I mean, do you have the same experience as I do? Because I don't know. I've tested it on a few different systems, and it's sus. Yeah, sucks, man. Anyways, let's quickly turn on FSR and see if this will actually help us get above 60 FPS now at 1440p ultra settings. Probably not. You would have to drop it to balance in some case scenarios, but yeah, changing mid-game FSR, it's not really good. I advise you to go to the main game, change to FSR, then quit it and go back inside the game, wait for the shaders to load and go back in, because look at these stutters, guys. This it takes some time to actually get back to the smooth gameplay that it was before. So like I said, restart the game and let the shaders load again with FSR turned on, and you should have a little bit better experience that I currently had right a few seconds ago. So this is the area that we last checked in the previous video, and let's see. We can maintain above 70 FPS. We got 70 FPS here before with FSR at quality, but here as well we can expect the almost same performance as with A770. At some points, like I said, for me personally, I think A750 worked a little bit better. I'm not sure why, don't ask me, maybe it's because of that overclock that I have up there. But yeah, Dead Island 2, 1440p, max setting, 60 FPS on A750, playable. It's not like The Last of Us, which was not playable. So we have what now? We have Returnal was playable, Dead Island 2, as you can see here, it's totally playable, not except the stutters, of course, which I hope the developers will fix sooner or later. But yeah, like I said, we had Dead Island 2 playable, Returnal, we have it playable experience at 1440p with 8 gigs of RAM. Last of Us, no, was not playable except with FSR, if you don't mind locking to 30 FPS. Okay, that was not playable, so that we have, okay, one game out of 3 were playable at 1440p with 8 gigs of VRAM at A750. So yeah, let's go and move to another game, guys. Which one shall we take? Which one shall we test? Quixel Mega Scans, of course, it's the Resident Evil 4. Not long ago this one was released. I expect this one to work really good because they optimized the engine, the drivers, you know the drill what we had. Lots of videos with A770 on Resident Evil and Dead Space. But in the end we got a smooth playable experience, so that's good to see. Anyways, Resident Evil 4, let's quickly go to the option settings, display, we are running 1440p, let's put cinematic resolution to 4K, FSR off. You can actually hack XeSS and it looks really good. I made a video about it, but in this video we will not be using XeSS and we won't even be using FSR because I think this game doesn't need it. At 1440p it will run without a problem. So let me just quickly here set everything to the max. And yeah, I really recommend you to actually turn off hair strands like I have it here, because they do drop performance a bit and it's noticeable, hair strands, but it's not that big of a visual improvement that you should sacrifice your performance for. So just turn that off, make sure everything is max and lens distortion is off if you don't want to puke. And yeah, let's go inside the game. Here we are at chapter 9. I finished this game, so I have few chapters saved. I just loaded this one, but yeah, here we have, look at this, maintaining above 60 FPS at 1440p max setting, which is what I expected it to be. We got about 9 gigs of VRAM usage, 8-9 in this case, it really depends on the scene, but yeah, 60 FPS, 1440p, ultra setting, Resident Evil 4, works good on Intel Arc A750, guys. So if you're going to play this, you can safely buy it and you can always lower some settings. But yeah, let me go to the chapter 10 here. I remember a way we will keep on running so the scenery keeps on changing, and see if we have any section. Oh, wow, look at this. Oh, come on, skip this. Performance is what matters, not the S. Oh, let's go. Here inside the castle we have 120 FPS. Look at this, guys. So if we have 120 FPS here, or 110, 100, I'm sure we can expect 60 FPS above all the time in outside door areas. Here it's the demanding, a little bit more demanding it seems. It dropped below 60 for a second, but in the garden area, look at this. Okay. I mean, if you have variable refresh rate monitor, it would be, you know, playable. You won't notice this much of performance degrade when it drops to like 45 FPS for a second. So yeah, you can always just inject XeSS and use that to be on the safer side, but that's upscaling, you know, guys, that's cheating. We are not running 1440p native resolution, which is what in this video we are testing, but I mean, As we can see right now in a few different areas, we are holding above 60 FPS in Resident Evil 4 Remake, which it's safe to say that we can put this to the list of 8GB is enough to run 1440p game Resident Evil there. Because it is playable. Don't say to me it's not playable, because I will hit you through the screen. No, I'm just joking, guys. I'm just joking. But it's playable, alright. I would not complain. I could easily finish the game with these current conditions. 90 FPS. Perfect. Let me quickly heal so I don't die, because I don't want to run again. And quickly run ahead and see if we got any section here that will drop our FPS again below 40, but I think not. Lots of indoor sections in this Resident Evil, so this is the kind of performance you will expect. I mean, there are some query and there you go outside, but it's really good optimized, well optimized games that it runs just fine. Look at the frame time graph, guys, at the top right left corner. It's flat. Thank God we are not using Unreal Engine and that the guys there at Capcom made their own Resident Evil engine, which is really good. We have lots of mods available for it. Works really good on most of, if not all, the systems. And yeah, I just hope they will continue improving their engine and keep on using it for future games that they will make. But we'll see. I really liked the mod, but not on Intel Arc. I modded the Resident Evil Village to have VR, which was a really good experience, I must say. It's now native at PlayStation. I will ask my friend that he will borrow me their PlayStation 2 VR headset, so I can actually play that game in native supported Resident Evil Village VR. But yeah, let's go here to the start area, which you are all familiar with, especially if you watched all my Resident Evil 4 videos. And look at this, guys. Same performance as on Intel Arc A750. If not, even better, but no, it's same performance, maybe FPS 2 less. We got a smooth way above 70 FPS here, though we are not using ray tracing. If I would turn on ray tracing here, I'm 100% sure that we will see drop below 60 like we did before. Oh, just like here we had a massive stutter, which put our FPS to 60, but yeah. Guys, Resident Evil 4 is playable at A750, 8GB of VRAM on the graphic card. You should not have any trouble running this game. So, yeah, I mean, maybe the games right now are still not that much demanding, especially Returnal and others that are really good optimized, but okay, I mean, Last of Us was also one of the newer games. I'm not sure how well the port was made, but 8GB of VRAM there was not enough, I'm not sure what to say now, but we have 4 games that played well and 1 so far that didn't play well. So I think it's safe to say that you should be perfectly fine with 8GB of VRAM for 1440p at least, maybe for another year or two. Then I would maybe consider upgrading it. But okay, if you have €100 more for A770, maybe just get that graphic card. And yeah, for the bonus, guys, this game, I'm not sure if you know what it is, but let's quickly go to options, settings, set everything to 1440p, field of view 115, everything motion blur off, VSync off, and quality preset to epic. And yeah, let's quickly apply here and start the game. Guys, this is Trepang 2, or how do you say? Yeah, it's Trepang 2. I cut here prolong to the most good section after the game, because prolong took me about 5 minutes to get here. But yeah, you need to hide, then get here, grab the gun, and then you run like crazy and you shoot people. It's a really good game. It's made from I mean, not released yet, it will soon be out, but you can play the demo on Steam. Trepang 2, check it out. It's made by the developers of you know what, Worms, guys. Anyone played Worms? I put a lot of hours in Worms Armageddon. And yeah, to think that they would actually make an FPS which is I think like a clone of Fear. If you played Fear, then you should know this slow motion that you will see later on in this game, and the movement is also kind of the same as Fear, and maybe some Call of Duty, you know, arcade style in there, because you are running around really fast. In Fear you weren't able to run that fast, but yeah, here we go, some shooting, guys. Look at this, we are getting above 90 FPS, and this game is actually really optimized, because we are only using about 6 gigabytes of VRAM, huh? How about that? So yeah, it will really depend on the game. I can't really say right now, because maybe 20 games will come out in the upcoming months and only 1 or 2 won't be playable with 8 gigs and will actually need 16 gigabytes of VRAM for 1440p gaming. But yeah, I mean, look at this, guys. Trepang, it's still a demo beta version, and it's running 120 FPS at Epic preset, which 100 FPS. Look, this was playable. I was running around like crazy searching for people, and yeah, what I didn't like about this game was I didn't know where to go. So we are just running aimlessly, you don't know what to do. So I hope that in the final release, which should be in a month or 2, I think, they will improve some of the things, maybe give you some objectives to do and some other stuff. But yeah, graphics look nice, performance looks well. I think it works just fine at Epic preset, and this is running on Intel Arc A750, which I doubt they even optimized for this graphic card, and drivers are, I'm also sure that they are not optimized. So this engine is actually running really well. I will check and see which engine this game is actually using, I mean will be using. But yeah, the optimization is perfectly fine, the graphics are good, everything works smooth, and let's shoot some more bad guys over here. Man, I really liked Fear back in the day. Their movements, I mean, the game was fine. This slow motion, it's similar to Fear. And even the death animations and shooting looks very similar to Fear, so I will surely be buying this and playing it. If they will fix something, first I will check the review of the game if someone will do it before actually buying it. But yeah, it looks promising so far, guys. Wait, I think I remember, if I go here to the options video setting and put here custom, yes, we have here unlock insane settings. Woo! Come on, let's burn our Intel Arc A750 some more. Do you think this will be able to actually pump out 60 FPS now with the insane graphical preset? Not that you should be using this, but for science, guys, for science. Look, 70 FPS! But okay, once we start shooting, I doubt we will be maintaining that much. And there was some sort of stutter lag every time, so yeah. If you are going to play the demo, just use Epic preset and that's it. But look at this, guys. We dropped below 40. It was still playable, as you can see. I was running around like crazy shooting these security guards, but yeah. What's the conclusion of this video, you say? The conclusion of this video is, like I said before, 8 gigabytes of VRAM should hopefully still be enough for the next 1 year or 2 for 1440p, either max setting or mixed setting for 60 FPS gameplay. If you want more, you always have to turn down the settings, use upscaling or whatever hacks we will be finding out in the future videos. But yeah, I mean, if you are going to actually get this card for 1440p, then okay. But if you don't, if you have €100 more, like I said before, or US dollars, just get yourself A770, and you will be sure better for the next few years with that card. But okay, I mean, Intel will be releasing a battle match, I guess, who knows when. So maybe A750, which is cheaper than A770, might be a good idea for the next year or two. But yeah, I mean, if you're going to get this for 1440p, grab it, and you should have smooth 60 FPS in most of the games. But yeah, if you have, like I said before, €100 more to spend, get yourself a 770. If, yeah, for A380 for 1080p, if you're going to use that card, I really advise you actually to don't get that one, as that one is the A380 is the perfect streaming card. Actually, I'm testing it more and more now on second PC, not on this video, for streaming and recording with my local company channel, and so far so good. I will also make sure to make next live video with A380 and have beside A770 to show you some gameplay, or maybe A750, we'll see. But yeah, guys, sorry for another really long video. We are almost 40 minutes in. Thanks for staying with me if you are still here right now. I appreciate your support, you watching my videos. It makes me want to make even more, so you know what you're getting into. And also me as well. I like to test Intel Arc GPUs and all Intel products actually. And we'll see what the future video will bring. But for now, this is it, guys. Conclusion. Grab yourself A770 for 1440p or 4K, and if you're going to game at 1080p, just grab yourself A750 and you will be perfectly fine for the next 2-3 years, because I doubt the newer games will take more than 8GB of VRAM for 1080p. If they do, I don't know. Okay, Last of Us, that's a special case. I'm not sure what's going on there, but yeah. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe, and write down your comments, because I'm sure you have something to ask me. So yeah, write down, and we'll see ya in the next one. Bye bye. Ha! Joke's on you! I actually got one more game for you guys to see, and it's Callisto Protocol. It's also one of the newer games, and I remember this one was really well optimized on A770, so I expect a really good performance on A750 as well. So let me quickly change here everything. Oh, I forgot to save here. I will be not using ray tracing now. I forgot to actually apply here, so first benchmark run will be with medium settings, and let me just quickly turn off here temporal anti-aliasing, I mean FSR, and put this to max. But yeah, let's see. I totally forgot we have benchmark mode in Callisto Protocol, so let's go and run Callisto Protocol on medium high settings at A750 and see what kind of FPS we can get. This benchmark is actually pretty demanding, especially in this first scene and later on in the second scene. As for the in-game, I never was able to actually get this kind of bad performance like it was here for a second in benchmark. So it's actually a really smooth 60 FPS, well, almost all of the time when I was playing. I did play for about an hour, but later on as well for recording of this video, it took me about 20 minutes of another gameplay time. And I had a really smooth experience, but as you can see, benchmark here, it looks like it will be around 70 FPS average in the end. Was I right? Oh, 70 FPS. It recommends me to enable FSR2 performance mode. God damn it, game. No, I will not enable that, but what I will be doing is going to the graphical settings and putting this on high, because before I forgot to save. So yeah, physical reflections also on, ray tracing disabled. We don't need that right now. And yeah, let's run again another benchmark and see what will happen now. Will the FPS drop now that we put everything to max or not? But I think we can expect, if we got about 78 FPS average now, I'm sure it will be 60 now, without ray tracing obviously. But as you can see, this area, oh, we lost about 10 FPS here when switching to max settings. But that doesn't mean anything, because as you can see, the later areas, I mean, it's performing really good. 60 FPS, 100 here. Okay, this benchmark, it is I'm not sure if that reliable to actually see the in-game performance, so what we will be doing later on is actually also going in-game for a few minutes to see that it actually is true, the numbers that this FPS benchmark shows at the end. I mean, benchmark shows at the end the FPS. 64, guys, it still says to enable FSR performance, which we won't do because who needs the blurry graphics when you can get 60 FPS average apparently. So let's go. What shall we do now? Shall we go back and enable something else? Let's see, maybe go to options, go ray tracing. Shall we do another benchmark run with ray tracing on and use FSR what? Quality? Balanced? Quality? Let's go quality. And yeah, okay, let's first run without ray tracing and see what kind of FPS we get. And maybe later on do as well one with ray tracing. Let's see here, this area was demanding before, it's also demanding with FSR. So game. What was that FSR recommendation at the end? Okay, I know you said use performance mode, but we won't be using performance mode because FSR quality mode looks fine. We got a little nice FPS boost here, about 20 FPS at quality settings here, about 10, 12 FPS boost, which is nice. So yeah, maybe I recommend you to actually use FSR quality mode in this game. 2.1 is okay, but I really want to see more games have implemented XeSS. Come on, guys. XeSS. We saw in Cyberpunk, at least I saw in other videos, the image quality got improved. I also made video comparing 1.0 with 1.1 XeSS, and the improvements were amazing. Image quality got boosted, no more smearing in the backgrounds of some certain stuff. And yeah, let me quickly enable here, like I promised before. Let's do another ray tracing benchmark run. Changing ray tracing settings like we had any on before. We didn't have any ray tracing settings on. So what's it taking so long? No, come on, I'm ready to benchmark. Come on, graphic card, don't die on me now. No, it won't die. It works really good. I actually forced, I think it was 50% fan speed on, and it was in a closed case. And I haven't seen it actually go above 68 FPS, which is good, I must say. Let's go. Okay, now we put it to balance because quality, not sure if it will help us that much. And let's see what kind of FPS average will the benchmark run on Callisto protocol give us now. But this first area, look at this. Oh, we are getting about the same FPS. 35 with ray tracing on and FSR balanced like we had with FSR quality and off ray tracing. Oh my god, what is going on? Maybe this game needs a little bit more optimization or drivers, I'm not sure, but the performance is actually good. Just turn off ray tracing and you will have a smooth experience at 1440p. You will see later on once we go in game. Let's see here, what will the average say? Will ray tracing be able to run 60 FPS average based on benchmark predictions? Let's see. Oh, 52. So what's the gist now of this story? I mean, moral of the story of this benchmarking? Yes, we go back to quality settings FSR and lighting settings. We turn off ray tracing and let's go now and see in game if we can actually get 60 FPS at 1440p in Callisto protocol. Which one should I load? 7, 8, 7. Okay, let's go 7. Let's see where we are here. I think, has this ever happened to you in Callisto protocol? Some of the saved games get corrupted, and what then happens is actually this. A gray screen, and you get a flat line at the top left. It doesn't want to work. I tried here, going back to window and try running it again like we do here, and we are still bugged in this gray screen. So yeah, the only solution was to actually close the game and go back inside, relaunch the game, and that's it. Okay, Steve, no, come on, don't cry. I closed it. run the game. I need to do some more in-game playtime here for my people that follow graphic card. No, come on, AMD, the way it's meant to be played. Together we advance. Oh, sorry, that was NVIDIA, if I can remember correctly. But yeah, this game is again Unreal Engine. What's with me? Why did I decide to actually test mostly Unreal Engine games? I mean, they stutter, so why I do this? But okay, I mean, Callisto Protocol, you saw. It works really good. Striking Distance Studios did a good job optimizing the game for most of the systems. Okay, at launch it was not that good, no, especially when I played on my NVIDIA 3090 system, but yeah, I was able to finish it, and that's all that matters. The game was nice. I was playing on hardcore settings, and yeah, here we are, guys. This is the intro scene. We will just walk around the ship and see what kind of FPS are we getting. The frame time graph is really smooth. We got about 70, 80, 90 FPS. I would say the average here in this area was 80, 85. And the game ran pretty smooth, as you can see. Probably you could also turn off FSR, but you know, later areas they become more demanding, so if you want to get that 60 plus FPS experience at 1440p, maybe I advise you to actually turn FSR to quality. Even though you see right now up there 100 FPS, you later on in the game, when there are lots of, you know, these again zombies or whatever are called in this game, when they attack you and there's lots of effects going on, you will need that FSR set to gain that additional 10 FPS boost, so you can get that smooth above 60 FPS gameplay. But yeah, guys, another game, 8GB of VRAM, enough to run 1440p games, at least for now. So my personal take is, for the next 2 years, like I said before, 1440p 8GB of VRAM will be perfectly fine to use. Okay, maybe I should try Forspoken. I think that one was also VRAM hungry, huh? I can't remember, but if you know some newer games that will come out, and even some new games that came out not long ago and are VRAM hungry, let me know down in the comments below, and maybe I will make another long video for you guys to see. But yeah, in the spaceship area in Callisto Protocol, we got above 80 FPS average, but once we go back into the game here later on, we see now we are actually maintaining oh, okay, we are having almost the same FPS as before. Okay, here is everything muddy and foggy. Maybe that's the graphic card don't need to do much rendering. But yeah, here we are fighting this guy. I kind of forgot how to play Callisto Protocol now, because you had to dodge with E and Q, and I totally forgot about that, so I died over here, but who cares? We will do another run and maybe get this guy now and see. Yeah, I mean, I'm impressed with the results that A750 is pumping out really good frames at 1440p max settings in most of the games we try now, except, you know, Last of Us. You saw that was when ray tracing was one at the start, 18 FPS. Wow, it was lagging my brain. But once I turned off FSR, okay, it was a playable experience. I can't complain. But yeah, what was now 6 games out of 7 that 8GB was enough. Oh, very nice, very nice. So yeah. Now guys, this is really it. We are almost reaching 1 hour, which is a really long video. I'm not sure what gives that made me do this really long video for you. It's probably because I won't have A750 long in my possession, so I decided to make one long video, because I'm not sure when the next A750 video will be. Hopefully soon, because I'm actually thinking of ordering one, so I have all 3 here. I barely could arrange now, so I got it back for another testing. But yeah, maybe if price drops again on A750, I will buy it and make more videos. Maybe next comparison benchmarks will be all 3 Intel graphic cards in one video, so I will be covering hopefully all 3 graphic cards in the future games. So you know, if your card will be enough to play the game or not. I try to get most of the games, I mean I buy games that I like to play, so yeah, if you say to me test PUBG, other stuff, I will gladly do it, but some games, I mean PUBG is free, but okay, yeah. That's it, guys. This was a little long video and now I need one beer. It works really good here as well. Okay, this area was the most demanding one in the whole game in my opinion, and we are also maintaining about 60 FPS average, which yeah. The conclusion of this video, again, 8GB of VRAM is enough for the next 1-2 years if you don't mind lowering some settings, and yeah, thanks for watching, and now make sure to like and subscribe and ring the notification bell, because if you stayed with me this long, then I really appreciate your support. I will have something for you in the upcoming days, you will see what I mean, and peace out. He's going to kill me. Oh.